Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to the Friday night edition of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We are going to have a blast. Amber from Amber's Paraworld is here. We're going to get into everything from the fairies to all sorts of cryptids. She's even going to give me a past life regression. Oh, it's going to be fun tonight. It's going to be fun. But first, let's say hello to all of you, shall we? Can we go there? Is that okay? Is it okay? All right. Well, let's do it. Eternity Eternal in the gold medal position. T-Bone with a silver. Kitty Cattywhack with a bronze medal tonight. Necessary Dialogue. How are you tonight? As we scroll on down and say hello to Trucker Andrew and Race Fan. How you doing? Oh, look, Amber's Paraworld is in the chat room too. Amber will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. And if you make a comment about her hair tonight, because it looks fantastic, she will sign a little heart at the end of her name. It's that simple. Moving on down, we got Mel WD-40 here lubing us up for tonight's show, because you can't talk fairies unless you're nice and lubed. So thank you, Mel, for the lube. Don't forget to give yourself a shot as well. Mr. Cowley, how you doing, my friend? Kitty Cattywhack, thank you for the opening 2 super chats tonight. We greatly appreciate your love and support as we continue on with our roll call. Shane Gord, Robert Lamoth, Thunderhead. How you guys doing? Just another guy named Harry. What's happening? Road Flare. Good to see you. Walter Kochabinski, Lisa Smith. It is always a pleasure. Nikki Cook. How are you, my dear? Long time, no time. Thank you for coming on in. Stephanie Kenny Blankenship. How are you? Grantavius Maximus. How you doing, brother? It's time to grow that mustache, Grant. After last night's snafu, I'm calling you out publicly. Time to grow that mustache. Forrest Louie, how are you, my friend? Frankie B, nice to see you. And Queen Strength, welcome to SOR chat. No hello to Dave, just hello to Amber's. There she is, right there. Let's just play that back and forth. Right there. No hearts for Dave. It's all the love for Amber. Marichelle, how you doing? Welcome to SOR chat, as well as we say hello next to, let's scroll on down a little bit. Let's just do that. And some more. Deanna Ann looking lovely tonight. How are you, my friend? And Jessica S. All right, moving on, because that's enough for right now. Luscious Jules, how are you? Jeremy O, what's happening, my friend? As we scroll on down and we say hello to Jake, it's so much. How you doing, buddy? Nice to have you here. And who is next? Phil Funk, how you doing? Nice to see you. Jerence Carter is here, everybody. Jerence Carter will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind, to the right of the studio. Digger Dog, nice to see you. Eric Frey, welcome to SOR Chat. Oh, B. Arthur's sending you over. Right on. Thank you, B. We love you, B. Edwin Guerra, how you doing, my friend? Frankie B. up in his membership. There you go. There you go, buddy. Good job. Way to go. Shogun, how you, my friend? And let's get the radio side going. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Proud to have Amber from Amber's Paraworld on YouTube, TikTok, and all over the place hanging on out with us as we get into some weird, strange, cryptid, and fairy stories tonight. We're in roll call on our YouTube side. Stargazer, how you doing? Paris Solo, nice to see you. The birthday boy, Matthew Goodka. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew. Happy birthday to you. All right, there you go. There you go, right there. We got it in. For Jessica. Amy Allo, you're looking beautiful tonight. Free your mind, you're looking beautiful tonight. And who else is looking beautiful tonight? Well, Dirty Filth is looking beautiful tonight. There he is. Hello, Dirty. And Pam Harris, how are you? You're looking beautiful tonight. And throw those horns up, everybody. Let's rock.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shh, be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears to what's that we have in the nose. We're together, friends. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read the Newswire. Check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Caribou Con. Come up to the Caribou region of British Columbia for Caribou Con at cariboucon.com. You can get your tickets today for our event, September 18th through 20th. We are going to get into everything tonight, from fairies, gugways, wendigos, gnomes, and even a past life reading on me. Amber from Amber's Paraworld is going to join us momentarily to break it all down. Then in hour number 3, Swamp Dweller will kick things off. After Swampy, Lee Strauss, the American Dream himself, will be here for the Q&A. So let's get right to this. I always say that. Amber is an Appalachian medium known for her powerful and deeply immersive connection to the unseen world. With the ability to channel everything from departed loved ones to cryptids and extraterrestrial entities, Amber brings a unique and fearless approach to the paranormal. She specializes in full spectrum visual immersion and past life channeled readings, offering experiences that blur the line between the physical and the spiritual realms. Her work is rooted in the rich folklore and mystery of the Appalachia, where stories of the strange and unexplained have lived for generations. An accomplished author, Amber has written The Dead in Me and her latest release, Appalachia, Mostly True Scary Stories, capturing eerie encounters and personal experiences that continue to intrigue her growing audience on TikTok, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Let's get right to it, because you need to hit subscribe to her channel. She's amazing. Amber from Amber's Paraworld. Her hair is looking beautiful tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
I am fantastic.
Like I've got 2 pens ready for all the autographs later.
Oh, nice. Yes, Amber will be signing autographs after the show, if you haven't heard. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Yes, that's pretty awesome that you're going to be signing autographs. The audience appreciates that.
Yep. You got to do it. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Why do all the strange things happen around the Appalachians?
Well, the mountains are old, and there's a lot of mountains that are, not habited by humans. There's a lot of emptiness. Like, there's just a lot of energy there. A lot of energy. A lot of places for things to hide.
Really?
It's a little different than just been down in the city, where there's not a lot of trees or caves or, different places to dwell.
For you, as you live in an area that is filled with mystery and suspense, otherworldly at times, you are also intuitive, you're psychic, you have your own intuitive abilities that help people, help yourself, and help try and solve some of these mysteries. When did you first realize that you had these gifts?
Like when I was really little, like 5. But it was like later on, like when I was in my very early 30s, before I started really using them for what I do now. It took some scary experiences before I really started working with it, not against it.
What were those scary experiences?
It's like I've always been, from the time I was little, I've always been drawn to the paranormal, the creepy stuff. And when I was, I don't know, I was probably 30. It's when my daughter was really little. And even before she was born, I was kind of been tormented by this guy that I called the Hat Man and this old hag. There were 2 separate entities. And it was just really scary. Like every night she would scream in my ear, and then I would see his shadow by the door, my bedroom door. And this went on for a long time. And then there was one weekend where her dad had left to go to a wedding out of state. And we were laying there trying to go to sleep. And this guy would always stop at the door. He never came in. So, and he's just this dark figure, and he had you could hear him walking, but his presence was just very unsettling. I was very terrified of this guy. And the lady started screaming in my ear. She would just scream my name over and over and over and over. And this particular night, he walked in and he grabbed my ankles and jerked me, like tried to pull me out of bed. And I went running down the hallway to the living room and turned all the lights on, and I slept on the couch that night, which, the hallway connects both. So it's not like, I don't know. I really wasn't getting away from it, but it made me feel better. And that's kind of where it started. I was like, I can't be terrified of this stuff anymore. I can't live my life like this. And that's kind of the moment that I was like, okay, I've got to figure this out. I've got to do something, because I just can't do this anymore.
I love it. I love it. You found your strength towards it, because realistically, like Brent Thomas and I were talking about this recently, and he's from Paranormal Portal Podcast. And we were talking about how, the spirit world really tries to convince you. It's almost like depression. It tries to convince you that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, your energy isn't there to keep them away, and that they could have you at any time that they want. But when you finally take control back, there's really nothing spirit can do to harm you.
You're exactly right. That 100%. Yeah, there's not really, I still like when I go out and film, I like to be scared. Like, it's like, some people like to jump off buildings or skydive. I like to get scared. So I'm not saying I never get scared, because I do all the time. Like, I get creeped out, sometimes I get creeped out just walking outside at night, to the car. But I like that aspect of it. But there's not like, I'm not worried about like an attachment or, things like that, or something like really harming me, I'm not worried about that.
A lot of people would say, how can you not be worried about that?
I mean, a creature jumping on you in the middle of the night's a little different than just, somebody that's on the other side. Like there's been times I've heard some things and heard some growls and ran out of the woods as fast as I can because, some of those creatures are kind of unpredictable. But I mean, even the human spirits will touch you, grab you, really try to mess with you. I mean, they still do that to me. But I'm just kind of like, that's enough. I'm not even going to entertain you at this point. You just kind of have to try to keep yourself together and keep the upper hand on it, because if you allow it to consume you or kind of feed into that negative, then it's not going to be a good evening.
No, it definitely will not be a good evening at all. For you, as you grew into your own spirit, your own powers, what did you learn about yourself as a newfound intuitive?
The main thing is how much power we actually hold. And that's for everybody. Like, we have so much power and we give it away all the time. We give our power away constantly, whether it's to other people or to useless things they see on Facebook, whether it's to arguing, whether it's to, just like news, media, just different things. We give our power away and we lower our vibration and we allow things to bother us. And even on the spiritual side, we can allow things to come in because you're not stepping into your power. And that's the most important thing, is stand your ground,
It's very rare, though, that you have an evil spirit. There may be some upset spirits, some darker spirits, but the truly evil, the devilish, the demonic are very rare.
I agree. Absolutely. I think the demonic stuff gets thrown around way too much when it comes to paranormal. A lot of that has to do with TV shows, movies that are made in Hollywood. So people need to keep that in mind. People reach out to me a lot, thinking that they have a demonic attachment or a demon in their house. A lot of people don't like to hear that they're wrong about that, but I definitely don't sugarcoat it with anybody. I don't think that I've found anybody, not saying it couldn't happen, but the people that think that they have it, that have reached out to me over the years, none of it was like an actual demonic attachment or like an actual demon just like walking around and hanging out at their house, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. So how do you explain then something like poltergeist activity, where you have these weird creatures or ghosts or whatever they are that are really, getting rambunctious, moving glasses, chairs, opening up cupboards or whatever it may be?
So I saw this video, and it's been a few years ago, but I still think about it a lot. And it was like a POV of a ghost, right? Like maybe they can't see the humans. But it was a little funny clip. And it showed like this candle on the table and it got blown out and everybody's screaming in the house, but they're like, hey, blow that out. You're going to burn the house down. Or like, this glass doesn't go here. And they're like kind of throwing things. So, there's a lot we will never understand on the other side until we get there. So maybe some of them can't see us, or they don't know that that's not their place anymore. Like I think there's at least some sort of explanation for most of the activity. But I don't know. I think that we could explain it a little bit. We're never going to know the full extent of, how it feels on that side, but we just do our best to try to get along with it. And sometimes people can just talk to them. If there's something really causing chaos, just use your voice. Like I said, don't let your power go. Use your voice and stand up and say, hey, don't throw it again. Those glasses are expensive. Stop throwing it, or you got to go, you know?
Leave the crystal alone.
All right.
Yours. You know, throw the cheap
my
plastic ones.
Yeah.
When you are in a haunted location, how quickly are you picking up spirit or entities?
Oh gosh. Depending on what's there, you know, some places there's not a lot there. I mean, it could be like a place people think, you know, say is very active, but maybe there's only like two entities there, and they really don't care if I'm there or not. There was a sanatorium that I had went to a few years ago. I went last year too, but like the year before that is like I was going to go there, and I'd wanted to go there for a long time, and I was invited to go, and I started having dreams like this entity was coming to me. This really tall, dark, negative entity was coming to me and telling me that not to go. He's like, you're going to be sorry. Just you don't go. Like he was really kind of threatening me, you know, trying to scare me. And I'm like, okay, that makes me want to go even more. Like you guys, apparently you don't know me. But I did encounter him there, and that was at Indiana State Sanatorium. And I will say to this day, that is probably the scariest place I've ever been. Like as far as like a place the public can go, you know, like a big place. It was terrifying. I had the building to myself for a couple hours, and I went in and filmed about 20 minutes, and I was sitting out in my car until the rest of them got there. And I usually don't do that, but it was terrifying. There are so many dead people there. And some of them are okay, some of them are fine, but some of them are really negative.
When you say some of them are there, some of them are really fine, but some of them are negative, for our audience in Radio Land who may not understand what that means, take us through that.
Okay. A lot of them were created by people's emotions and by people's like the energy that they put off. So, and this, I'm going to jump back to like, you know, when people contact me about thinking that they had like this demonic possession, it kind of goes parallel, because majority of the time, if somebody thinks that they have this demonic attachment, and I'm not talking about like, sometimes people get confused, and it might just be grandma, you know, at their house, and she's moving something, or they hear her and they think it's something scary. But I want to say like 99% of the time when somebody is experiencing really negative things in their life, like, and they think it's like this entity, they can feel it, this presence, it's because they're at a low place in life. Okay. They're struggling with a lot of depression, like just negative things happening. It usually involves heavy drinking, drug use. And it's when you add those things up, you're putting your vibration, when it could be like up here, you're bringing it down so low that you're just like creating this stuff. And it's almost like, I don't know, they're creating this energy. And then once it's there for so long, it can kind of like take form, if that makes sense. I know it might sound crazy to some people, but people create a lot of times their own demons, their own negative things happening. So, you know, the last person recently that reached out to me, I'm like, look, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm from what I'm like seeing, like you've got a lot of illegal drugs that you're doing. You need to stop drinking. You need to stop looking at your life like it's negative. And, you know, just even saying that, you know, I don't have any luck. I don't have this. I'll never have that, because our words are powerful. We have to stand in our power and not give it away. And when you say that stuff, you're giving all of it away. And what you think, even if, you know, just writing things down might help them. But once you get yourself out of that loop of just been stuck in this negative environment, things will change. That the negative will go away because they can't compete with light.
That is very true. And that's heavy advice, too. We got about 4.5 minutes to go before we go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Amber from Amber's Paraworld on YouTube and TikTok is here tonight on Spaced Out Radio. So make sure you keep on listening in. Amber, when's the first time you saw a fairy?
It's been several years ago. They're interesting. They're all different shapes and sizes. I've got some videos from security cameras too. Those are on my TikTok, but like you can see them. I've seen one face to face, and a lot of people think that this is like really funny, but you know, we were at someone else's house, but it was still in this area, and we were all outside really late at night talking, and we kept hearing this rustling from the woods, and then it was like, I want to say about 30 yards where we were to the wood line. And, you know, this is just go straight up in the mountain. There's nothing up there except creepy things. And I see this blur coming at me. It was really fast. And this thing came and stood beside me. I was standing up by this back porch, and it stood beside me. It was, I want to say, about 3 feet tall. And it was butt naked. And it was like the ears were a little weird. And it showed me its teeth and was like, and they were like all pointy, and then it was just gone. It just left. It went right back to the woods. But that's the first time I've seen one that was just butt naked. I haven't seen him since. I actually thought about trying to see if he'll like connect with me again. And I say he because it was just a masculine presence. I didn't see anything. I wasn't looking, but I'd like to connect with him again. That was very interesting. It was just really quick, and he was gone. I think he just tried to scare me off, but it was.
What do you mean connect with him again? Like
see if he'll come and like hang out. I know he wouldn't, but like just see if he'll come and hang out, or like show himself again, or just come back. You know, because he's not too far from here. I mean, they could have been passing through. I'm not really sure what they were doing there, but yeah, they're just, you know, some of them are really little and some are really tall. So they're just all
I never knew that. I always expected fairies to be like, you know, maybe a couple inches big, you know, maybe 6 inches at the biggest, not 3 feet.
Yeah, this one was pretty tall. It kind of puts you in mind of that. Oh my gosh, what? I don't know. I don't even know what the movie's called, but like, is it, somebody told me what it was. Like, is it Gollum or something? Like, sort of like that. Like, just this, like a lot of skin. Like, it wasn't hairy at all. I don't know if that's the name of it or not. I don't watch movies, so I'm not sure. But it was definitely interesting. And it was bigger. But I could definitely tell, like, I just knew that it was some type of fae, you know.
Right. We have about a minute to go here. What did his teeth look like?
They were just grimy and pointy. They were really pointy. So, yeah, I mean, it looked like it would hurt if you got bit by one. And it kind of makes me wonder, you know, like if people are walking through the woods and you kind of get bit by something and it leaves a mark and you're like, what was that? Maybe they're just like biting people. I don't know.
I have no idea. I wouldn't even know how to react to something like that because it's just so bizarre. It's so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting that to happen, but I'm glad it did because it was really cool to see.
How far away were you from it again?
I mean, it came right beside me, like within a few inches. It was standing right beside me. And it came down like a blur. It was really, really fast.
It's just crazy. You know, I have been around some weird, strange things.
Mm-hmm.
I really have. Scariest would be hearing the either Wendigo or Skinwalker mimic the woman and man's voice. That was scary. But having a a giant mouth fairy with pointy teeth right through its mouth like a shark. I don't want anything to do with that. We have Amber from Amber's Paraworld on Spaced Out Radio tonight. We got her for another 90 minutes, and we're going to get into weird, strange cryptids next on the show. All right, we're clear. Blue Cruise, how you doing? All right, I think we're caught up on everything. Yeah. Sleepy Howl, how are you? Thank you, buddy. Joey Borrow. Apparently, I turned him on. He's over on Twitch. He says, "You make me horned up, bro." That's nice. I'm very happy I'm able to do that. Appreciate that. I still got it. I thought I lost it, but apparently Joey Borrow says I still got it. Now I'm feeling good. All right, Smoky Mountain Wanderer, how are you doing? Texas Hockey Cards, what's happening, buddy? Yennefer with a soft J, how are you? There's Jessica S. I love that name, Marichelle, by the way. I love that name. That's a pretty name. I'm going to assume she's a friend of yours, Amber. Hold on, I got you muted. There you go.
Oh,
I'm assuming I'm not the sister in that comment.
yeah. She goes and goes on some adventures with me out in the woods.
Nice. She's your partner in crime. Boom to Joe's Maine. You've got aliens. Rocket UFO. How you doing? From Iowa. He likes corn. All I know about Iowa is corn. And the cool wave that they do at the college football stadium to the kids up in the hospital. That is amazing. Claudette, how are you? Has the snow melted yet? Where are we? Blue Crew. Questions there. I'm highlighting. Yennefer. All right, we're caught up. I got to wait another week or two before I can go into my spot. Tried to get in there last weekend, but there was still ice.
Oh my goodness.
Ice and snow in that area. So if we have more days like today, that should be melted in no time.
Yeah, I hope we're done with the snow. We've had too much this year.
It was like about 67 degrees Fahrenheit here today.
Yeah, it was in the 70s here, which was nice. I prefer that over snow any day.
I'm literally about a 57 to 74 guy. That's my perfect temperature. Anything hotter than 74 is just a waste. Waste.
I love it. I love it when it's so hot that I just gripe that it's hot. I can't.
You know what I love?
When it's cold.
I don't add many people on my Facebook, but because of the show, I get a lot of people who add me. But sometimes I think they just look at how many Facebook friends we have together and then add. Because I always get messages during the show. Hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Hey, do you have time to chat? I'm working. Why do you do this to me? Do you not know?
Well, then they don't know you well enough, huh?
Right? All the time. What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Well, okay. I'll stick with my water.
I've got water too. I have to have like 2 or 3 things to drink all the time.
Me too.
I like a variety.
I'm feeling like I might need an iced tea. See if I can make this happen. Hold on. I know he's on his iPad playing a game. No way he's sleeping. Answer. Answer. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
I'm trying to get the boy. I gotta call again. I don't have time. See if I have time. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Hey, buddy, can you bring Daddy an iced tea, please? I gotta go in the air. Bye. Iced tea. Bye. There we go. Here we go, the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We are having a great time with Amber of Amber's Paraworld. You can check out her amazing YouTube and TikTok channels. Be one of her multi-thousands of subscribers. Multi-thousands right there. And hey, we want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, make sure you check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read the Newswire. Check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. All right, Amber from Amber's Paraworld, you're talking fairies with us right now. You saw a 3-foot fairy. You've seen all sorts of fairies. What does the fairy world look like?
Well, if there were if I could find the portal to go to their whatever their area, I would 100% go in it, but I have not. But I know that they do work on the land. They're not all evil like people think they are. There's a lot of I know especially with trending things on TikTok and stuff, you'll see posts about don't offer them anything, you'll be in debt to them forever. I mean, it kind of sounds like humans, right? Because some people you can trust, some you can't. I'm sure they've all got their own personalities, but I've never had a negative experience with anything like that.
You know what's amazing? My area, I never really had an interest in fairies. Okay? Until I moved to where SOR headquarters is. And I started learning about our area, and everybody who has a house here that is 40 plus years old, because it's an old area here, had fairy gardens. And it wasn't until probably a few months after we moved in, I'd watch my daughter, and she would go outside, and she'd be sitting in our new backyard, and she would open up the gate, she'd go into the green belt, and just sit there. I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. She's only 12. We're in a new area. And I'd be like, well, what are you doing out there? She goes, I'm playing with the fairies. And I'm like, the fairies? She's like, yeah. Now, I had the show going, so I had some belief, but I'd never really seen them before. Okay. And here we are. She would go sit out on our backyard or up in the green belt, and she'd be meditating, and she's like, yeah, they will come over, and they're all sorts of colors of the rainbows, and they'll land on my hands, they'll land on my legs, I'll sit cross-legged, and they'll land on my legs, and they just loved her. Absolutely loved her. And then they started coming into her bedroom at night, and they would light up. She would say that they would, when she turned her lights off to go to sleep, she couldn't sleep because the fairies' light was so bright, and they were flying around her room, that it would keep her awake at night.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So then, as this was going on, one night during one of the breaks, it was like a nice warm night. And I went out and I checked in my backyard because I think like the International Space Station or something was going to fly over that night. So I wanted to see if I could catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And on my fence post in between my neighbors and my house, on my 2 fence posts, there was a bright orange fairy sitting on top of one, like an orb. And then there was like a reddish orange orb on the next post. And they were just sitting there. I'm like, well, I guess they're real. I guess that's where they are. So I enjoyed that part.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But that's my extent of my interactions with them.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, some traditions don't, some people don't do this, but from the time our kids lose their first tooth, we offer it to the tooth fairy. We're offering our bones to the tooth fairy. So there's always that connection. There's that connection's there. And then the same people are the ones getting on, social media and saying, oh, don't offer them anything. Don't leave them a coin. Like you just had all your kids leave them the teeth, and you've probably done it too. So it's a little too late for offering coins.
A little bit so. So a lot of people will say fairies are tricksters, that you got to beware of them. You have to beware of the gnomes, the little people. You don't upset them because they will always get their revenge. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's possible. Like I said, I've never had a negative experience, but from what I have experienced and learned, anything's possible. So you can never really discount anything at this point. But you don't know what the humans are saying or doing as well. You know what I mean? Like you may not always get the full story. Maybe they're threatening them. Maybe they're just been kind of hateful or blaming the Fae for stuff that they didn't do. Maybe that's where that comes in. It's definitely a possibility.
With that, we also get into the bigger creatures. Gnomes, little people. What's the difference between a fairy and a gnome or a little person?
The way I categorize them, which everybody's going to say, everybody will think differently, but I just kind of put like the gnomes, the elves, all that kind of stuff, like all in the same, like just in the Fae category. That's kind of how I just classify them, because it's like they're just different types, in my opinion. So I just kind of put them all in that Fae basket.
Have you ever had an encounter with a gnome?
Yes. And actually, the lady in the chat that goes with me places, we were at a cemetery. I want to say it was last year. It wasn't very long ago. But she saw a little thing in the cemetery, and when I had already gotten there and I was waiting for her, and I had saw something. It went behind a headstone and then it was just gone. And it looked like it was kind of like walking. And when she had mentioned it, like I kind of didn't think about it because I'm sitting there by myself in the dark, waiting on her. And then she mentioned that she saw it too. And I'm like, I just saw that. And I was like, it might even be, I wasn't sure if I was recording at the time, but like it might be on video that, I had seen it too. So she's seen a few things like that. And I feel like that's what that was.
I don't know how I would react to seeing a gnome. They used to freak me out. They really used to freak me out until David Weatherly actually called me up one night. And he's like, we need to talk about this gnome thing. He goes, if you keep showing them fear and keep talking down to them, they're going to exact their revenge on you. He goes, they don't like that. I don't want to see that happen to you. Now I have gnomes all over my studio. They just it wasn't that they freaked me out. It's that they creeped me out. You know what I'm saying? Big difference there.
I mean, there's that fear is natural, especially with things that we're not used to, something out of the ordinary or out of the norm. It definitely can be scary. And that's normal to feel that way.
What scares you?
A lot of things. The biggest thing though, like especially like just when I'm out filming, you know, and Tammy goes with me a lot of the times, but like the biggest thing when I'm out is not the creatures, it's the human aspect, because we have been in so many places in the middle of the night when people come up, you know, people show up, they're either walking or they're driving by, and they'll park their car and just stare at us. And that's what I don't like. I'm definitely a little wary of a few mountains here in West Virginia that have some different entities on them that I feel like if they really wanted to, they could harm me. So it's kind of risky that I keep continuing to go back to these places, but I like it. I'm trying to get these things to like get used to me so they won't bother me, but I'm not sure they're taking the hint.
Right. When you go into the forest, as intuitive as you are, how quickly are you picking up things out there? Because for the most of us, it takes a little bit in order for us to get our human intuition in tune with Mother Nature.
Yeah, I mean, places I go to a lot, it just depends, because if there's a heavy presence, sometimes there could be, you know, 80 dead people there. And then you also pick up on these creatures. And if I were to try to like process every single one of them in that moment, I would never get anything done. And I would be like, I wouldn't be able to go out and have fun. So sometimes I have to kind of just be like, okay, I'm going to like not pay attention to that part and just go see what I hear with my, you know, out loud with my ears. And you know what I mean? Like just go look and, you know, explore. But there's a lot of times that they'll still come up and just, you know, grab me or, you know, flick you or pinch you, talk in your ear. But yeah, sometimes they don't want to connect. I mean, not every dead person wants to talk or be seen. Sometimes they're just there. And the same with like different creatures, you know, different things. A lot of times they don't want to have a conversation. So, which is good because I'm a talker too. So it would take all night.
Why wouldn't they want to have conversation?
It just depends. You know, why they're there. Like with the gargoyle type things, they don't really want to have a conversation with me. They never have. But they're scary. So that's kind of one that I don't know that I would believe anything they said anyways, you know, like what their intentions are, because I feel like when they're around, it makes my heart race and kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. So I know that when I feel like that, it's probably not an encounter I need to be like pushing.
Do you ever enter the forest alone?
I have, and I have like closer to home, and that can be scary too. But yeah, I've been out alone. I really, honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. It's better to have somebody with you because you never know when, you know, just some like things like you could trip and fall or sprain your ankle or, you know, anything can happen, especially on like rocky terrain or rough terrain. Definitely take somebody. If that's what you're wanting to go do, take somebody with you and let somebody know where you're at.
I'm too scared to enter the forest alone. I really am too scared to enter. It my area has way too many wild animals not to be a little freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of comes with the territory. For the most part, though, the wild creatures, like the actual animals that are like native or whatever, a lot of times they're not gonna like if they hear you like talking or with a flashlight, they're going to run most of the time. I have yet to encounter like a big cat or a bear, but I'm not saying it would never happen. And I don't know what I would do. I think you're supposed to like stop and like freeze, right? But I don't know that I could.
Yeah, I don't know what I would really do in that situation if all of a sudden there's a grizzly bear there. Never mind Bigfoot or Sasquatch or anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah, that would be scary. Which makes me think I should probably carry like bear spray just for situations like that. That'd be a good idea.
Do you have a lot of bears in your area?
I haven't seen but one out this way, but I mean they're definitely here. I don't know that there's like an excessive amount of them, but there's definitely some.
Yeah, they're just waking up here right now.
The coyotes are the big issue here. Honestly, we've had them even run down in the yard in the daytime when my daughter was outside playing. A couple years ago, it just came straight down. No fear at all. There's a lot of them out here, but luckily the Pyrenees went after it. So there's just that's the one thing I don't want to encounter, because if they've got pups or something with them, you just spring is when all that happens. So you just got to be on the lookout and be careful.
Yeah, I did have a cute little black fox running through my yard earlier tonight before the show. That made me happy. I like the foxes.
Yeah.
They're very cute.
A few times, but they're so quick. Like, I've never seen them like on the property, but I've seen them on the road a little.
Do you like your adventures with Sasquatch and Bigfoot as well? You've had encounters. What's that like for you when you have something like that happen?
Those kind of encounters, I haven't really went searching for that for a while, but it's really interesting because if they connect with you, then there's some kind of trust going on. In my opinion, that's how I felt from it. Like they have to. It's a trust thing. And humans can sometimes read other humans' energy, right? Like you can get a feeling from people, and they're the same way, but it's like a lot, like on a higher level. So it's more intense. If they feel like you're going to threaten them or you're just like, you have bad intentions, I don't think you're going to have an interaction. Or if you do, it's not going to be a good one. In my opinion, that's just like from my experiences, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely out there.
What do you think they are? Do you think they're a flesh and blood creature? Do you think they're a little bit more?
I do not think they're just flesh and blood. I think there's different types. Like for dogs, for instance, you have labs, you have golden retrievers, chihuahuas. There's just different kinds, like there's just different types. But I think they can be flesh and blood. It's just one of those things that, everybody is going to have an opinion on it. But they're just like, it's not like just looking at a bear and communicating with one or knowing what they're doing all this work. They're a lot different. They're more complex, and they're a lot smarter than I think a lot of humans give them credit for. They know a lot. They're on a higher frequency than what majority of us are on, like it's a very high frequency. So I definitely think they have the ability to kind of go into more of a spiritual type being to flesh and blood. I think they can do both.
I tend to believe that they have some sort of supernatural ability. What that is officially, I don't know. I want to know. It just seems that their uncanny ability to cloak, to appear, disappear, to leave just one footprint and then maybe another one 35, 40 feet away. I mean, it's just crazy how that seems to work.
Yeah. I think it's probably a lot more complex than we could really comprehend in a way, because it's just there's just so much to everything. And I always tell people, like, if everybody could see everything that existed for just a minute, like one time, they would probably never leave their houses again. Because there's just so much. There's so much more than like Bigfoot and Dog Man, Ghost, and you know, like a skinwalker. There's just so much more than that. But people always categorize, like, experiences they have, they'll categorize them into the ones that are most popular, you know, the ones they know that they recognize. But some of them, like, there's so many things out there.
What about gugways?
Yeah, we got like this love-hate relationship going on. They're probably more like on the they hate me side, but you know.
So explain to our audience, we got 4 minutes to go, Amber.
Okay.
Explain to our audience what a gugway is.
Okay. It's kind of like if like this big werewolf creature and a Bigfoot had a baby, because they have like longer noses, but they're kind of like a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, but they're a lot different. But they're similar, but not. But they're big, and they're a lot meaner than any Bigfoot would ever be. Very protective, and they inhabit a mountain that is not too far from me that I like to go to.
How do you know it's a gugway and not a Bigfoot?
Just because of what I saw when I was there, the way it felt, the interaction was different. The energy was just a lot like more aggressive, and it just wasn't that of a Bigfoot. And then I had seen them. I had these visions of them when I'm standing there in this mountain, and the way they looked. So I didn't know exactly what they were called at the time when I first had these interactions. So I got a hold of the only person I knew that would know what it was. So, which was Connor Flynn. He's great with this stuff, and I'm like telling him, I'm like, and it looked like this, and it was really mean. It was negative. It kind of looked like I'm like describing this thing, and he's like, is this what you saw? And I'm like, very similar. So he knew what it was. And then like I said, I'd never heard of it before. So I looked a few things up on him, not a lot, but the description really matched a lot.
How close were you to it?
I mean, I was in their mountain. They will throw things at us, like to get us to go. You can hear them walking, but they'll throw sticks. They'll throw rocks. I mean, I'm talking like good sized ones too. And most of the time I'll stand there with Tammy, and I'm like, should we leave yet? You know, like, and things are just flying around us. Like we're getting hit with stuff or close to getting hit with things. You can hear them growl. They're just, and you'll hear them shuffling in the leaves, like in the woods.
Yes. Yes.
And I've got a really bright flashlight, and so does she. And we will shine. I've lived out here in the woods my whole life. I know what a deer looks like, what a deer sounds like. I know what a raccoon sounds like, what their eye shine looks like. There's no eye shine going on in most of it. I did get on video though, something standing up from like behind a tree that was very interesting looking. In one of my videos, it was definitely not a raccoon, but I'm not quite sure what that thing was, but it was interesting. But that was one of the nights we were getting things thrown at us.
Ours haven't thrown anything at us, but I perked up a little bit when you said, that they start shuffling through the woods, very close to try and, kind of throw you off a little bit. We've had that happen numerous times, and it seems like they start out really far away, and then they move closer and closer and closer in to the point where your own energy field is like,
right,
oh, this is getting crowded real fast.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell what it sounds like when something heavy is walking. I mean, And also how it makes you feel. If your heart starts racing and you're kind of getting a little nervous and you can feel that presence. It's kind of like if you're trying to take a nap and somebody's standing right beside you, you can feel it and you look at them. It's like you can tell when there's energy right beside you. Or at least you should be able to tell. You can feel it, and it's a very heavy presence. I don't think that the Bigfoot would just walk up like that on people.
No.
They could. I mean, they could, but I don't think their intentions are to like scare people like these things. These things want to terrify me.
Amber, we're going to get you to hold on right there. When we return with Amber from Amber's Paraworld, apparently she did a past life regression on me. We're going to get into that and more next on Spaced Out Radio. This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott. All right, Amber, we have about 5.5 minutes. I'm going to put you in the background.
Okay.
And we'll be right back, okay?
All right.
All right. Here we go, everybody.
Our merch is Bigfoot approved. We have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have hoodies, we have socks, we have hats, we have stickers, and so much more. Whatever you're looking for, we have you covered. Why just be a fan of the paranormal when you can buy Spaced Out Radio merch and look the part? Our merch ain't ugly, folks. Check out the Spaced Out Radio store. Find the link in the description below.
Spaced Out Radio wants to hear from you. We love our community, and your voice truly matters. Drop a comment after every show and let us know what you thought. Agree with our guests? Tell us why. Disagree? We want to hear that too. We read every single comment. Jump into the live chat during the broadcast and be part of the conversation in real time. Got a killer topic idea? Your suggestions help shape the show. And if you want to take it even further, join our Patreon for bonus content and direct feedback opportunities with Dave and the team. This is your show as much as it is ours. Whether you're a longtime listener or brand new, we want your thoughts, your questions, and your ideas. And let's keep building this incredible community together. Spaced Out Radio, where the conversation never ends. What are you waiting for? We're listening.
For booking or inquiries, go to haunted108.com.
Are you ready to dive into the weird and wonderful world of cryptids, cartoons, and chaos? Meet Dirty Filth, Spaced Out Radio's resident cartoonist and master of the mysterious. Every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, join him live on the Spaced Out Radio YouTube channel for Cryptid Cartoons with Dirty Filth, a hilarious hour where he sketches bizarre beasts, shares mind-bending stories, and battles his mischievous cats. Whether you're a UFO enthusiast, paranormal fan, or just love quirky art, Dirty Filth filters the universe through his unique lens, creating cartoons that capture the strange, dark, and supernatural. Follow Dirty Filth on X at Filth1 or Facebook at Dear Filth for more filthy fun. Find his link in the description below.
Lurking within the forested region of the 108-mile ranch, where the worlds of the normal and paranormal collide, CaribouCon is waiting for you, bringing together a panel of renowned experts in the paranormal, cryptid research, and UFO phenomena fields. Get ready for a spine-tingling weekend in the heart of British Columbia. Enjoy fascinating discussions, presentations, tours of local haunted areas, and skywatching. Learn from investigators, authors, and enthusiasts who explore everything from ghost hunting techniques to sightings of Sasquatch and beyond. Whether you're a seasoned paranormal researcher or just love a good spooky story, this is your chance to connect with fellow enthusiasts in one of BC's most mysterious areas. Tickets are on sale now. Grab yours before they're gone. Visit cariboucon.com for details, tickets, and updates.
All right, I am back. Let's bring Amber back in. There she is. We have about 35 seconds to go. Thank you tonight to Nikki ×2, Kitty Cattywhack ×2, and Amy for the great super chats. We greatly appreciate your love and support of this show. You can join our Patreon account, putting up new videos and stuff there almost every day. And you can become a member on our YouTube side as well, because we allow that. We do. We do. I hope you're having fun. And we're coming back here in 5 seconds. All right, we are into hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We greatly appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network, our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Calademon. Calademon is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's bring in Amber from Amber's Paraworld. You can look her up on YouTube or TikTok. She has tens of thousands of followers because they love her stories, her journeys, and her ability to show the weird and strange from around the world. And we're so glad to have you here, Amber. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Am I lagging? I think I'm lagging a little bit. Can you hear me?
You are. Your voice is sounding perfect, but your video is lagging. That's okay.
Okay.
We're going to get in.
I don't know what's going on. Okay.
That's okay. So apparently you decided that you were going to do a past life regression on me. Well, not a regression, because you didn't do it for me. You read into my past lives. And you had a little bit of trouble doing so. I don't know why. We're about to find out what happened here.
Okay, so when I do past life readings, I always ask for like a karmic past life that can help you today. It really doesn't do any good to do a past life reading and find out that, you know, it's just something irrelevant, right? So I always want one that has to do with that can correspond to something that's going on today that may help you either understand something better or, you know, kind of something that you need to know, you know, that is karmic to this life. So that's what I was asking in yours. And can you still hear me?
Yeah, we're going good.
Okay. So when I first kind of tried to tap in, I was just given a date. And the first date I was given, it was 1591. And then I heard trained warrior. That was it. I'm like, well, okay, what about it? And it was just a block. So then I try to go again, and I'm given this a different date. And I'm like, okay. And this one, it was like, okay, in this one they gave me, I just heard you were killed by a really tall creature that sort of looked like a bear. And this was like a long time ago. And that was it. And I'm like, I've never had this issue before doing these readings. And then I figured out that it's like you have this protection up. You have bodyguards that were not letting me tap in. They were just like spitting out a little bit of info here and there, but not letting me go like full into it. So I'm like, okay, I need something, because like you have to give me more information than this. It took a little bit of coaxing, and they finally let me in, like let me tap in. But it was definitely different, because usually that's not an issue.
Why do you think they were holding you back?
I think you have protections up, that at some point you have asked for protection from something that scared you or something that you didn't want to get in. And you have a powerful, like when you said it, you meant it. Like when you did this, you meant it. And, you know, your gods and your higher consciousness was just like full force, like barricading you in. They didn't want anything psychically to get in. That's what I think.
Have you had troubles like that before?
No.
Well, that's kind of good, I guess. I'm special.
Yeah. You've got some, and there's also, I also wrote down that they wanted to protect you from remembering things. So, or some type of trauma or remembering, they wanted to protect you from this. So that's another layer of it. But if you are ready, we can get into it.
Let's go.
Okay. So let me see. You'll hear me turning pages because I've got a bunch of, I've got like 2 pages of this stuff written down. So I heard that your grandfathers, and this is definitely, your father's side, grandfathers dating back over 100 years. This will also pertain to that. So let me see. This one I'm going to go back to is not very far back. It's 1911. And during this time, you were around 34 years old. And you had dark hair. I saw you with dark hair. You were clean shaven. Very slender. And you had nice slacks on and a t-shirt. And you had a cigar. You smoked a cigar. So, and you worked night shift, and you were like a guard. You were guarding something during the night. And it's like you were noticing things in the sky, and like lights, different patterns, and you just kind of kept this to yourself. But you did notice this, and you were having dreams in this life. You would dream about these things in the sky, and there were some type of interactions during that time. And then I specifically saw you walking home at night. You had a jacket over your shoulder and a cigar in the other hand, and it's really late, like 4 a.m. And you had seen like this thing in the sky, and it was getting closer and closer, and you knew it wasn't a star. But it kind of scared you at this point, because it was close. Like it wasn't like way up, it was getting closer, and you were just kind of trying to outrun it. Okay. You're like running home, and you get home and you close the door, and then you kind of calm down and go to bed. You started having a dream, and but like when you went to bed, you could still see this, like the lights were still outside. But you started dreaming, and in this dream, you went with them. Like they got you went with them into what was there. There were different types of beings there, like 8 to 10 of them. They didn't all look the same. And you were fighting them in this. Okay. You didn't want to be in there with them. You were terrified in this dream. And you started questioning things. You're like, what are you doing to me? Asking all these questions, and nobody else is talking. And then I see this almost like this real thin table, but you're standing upright and you're up against it. And then I see clamps go over your wrist, because you're trying to like fight you're wanting out of there. So at some point, this craft thing that you're in goes into the water. And let me see, hold on. Like for you in this moment, it was a negative experience. But your consciousness at that moment never returned to your body. You ended up being missing. But when you went there, it was like a dream state. If that makes, I know it probably doesn't make sense, but it's like you were dreaming. They took the consciousness, but then it never came back to your body.
Weird.
And I also heard a project, like there was some type of project going on too at the same time. And then it had something to do with the heritage and bloodline as well. There's like a strong bloodline and heritage. And it was like, not really like they're studying you, but something to that nature. And it had been going on for like 100 years, over 100 years of the men in your family experiencing something similar. But like the way it could affect you today is dreams. You could definitely be still having dreams, or every now and then have a dream of something you're not really understanding where it's coming from, or something like a little different. I think they could affect your dreams, still. Maybe give you more questions than answers. And it's like, if you've ever felt like this need to try to remember something, it's like, it's like, you know the answer, but you just can't get to it. Like there's that piece of information, or something that you recognize. If you're drawn to something that you're just like, okay, that looks a little strange. I know that it's like you've seen it before, like a deja vu. And you're trying to remember, but it's like, that's where those guides come in, and they're like, there's something they want to protect you from. And also feeling like you've been somewhere else before, like that you've been someplace other than just like in this earthly plane before. And then,
so basically, I've always had a connection to the stars.
Yes, it just wasn't a star in particular. And knowing there's something more to it, like this, just that, like I said, just that knowing that there's something else out there, and you want to figure this out. That's going to come from what happened then, even though most of the time we do things now and we don't realize that there could be that connection, from something that's happened before. And even just like the curiosity, the seeking information, you're wanting to, look things up or try to learn about a certain aspect of this. You just want to know, like, you're just always searching for these answers. And it can even translate to a love for, or like this passion for trying to figure it out, looking at the sky, looking at the stars, trying to figure out what we're all doing here, and, what's really going on, and this can even translate to, a love for being in the woods as well, because you're kind of out in that openness. There's, you're more at, more vulnerable when you're there, let's see. And then have you ever done any work to like more into your Akashic records to like try to unlock them or like learn about it?
Not really.
Okay. So you could do that. because that's kind of where you could get some answers that way, but that's going to take, you're going to have to do some like really deep meditation and a lot of self-discovery, unlocking and keeping your heart chakra clear is going to help a lot. And if you see something in the sky that you just kind of like, even if you're like, oh, that might just be a plane or, whatever, maybe keep a journal of it and just see how often it's happening. or if you're having strange dreams. But the heart chakra is going to be really important because that's going to help you understand, because that's where a lot of our, those emotions and that need comes from. Let me see. Okay. You could also stop the karmic cycle of this, something similar happening to males over the generations. And that's where like you have a lot of power that I don't feel like you're tapping into as much as you could, because when your gods and your higher consciousness have that much power, right, to even like just be like, hey, I don't want you tapping into this, when we'd already like, you agreed to do this and they're still trying to block this out, you need to stand in your sovereignty, have total control over all your choices, everything that's happening in your life. And just stand, like we were talking about earlier, stand in your power and just say it, even just saying it out loud, like, hey, this is going to stop. You're not going to mess with my dreams. You're not going to mess with future generations. If you want to talk, it's going to be on my terms, and just kind of state that power. I think your power is strong enough to get the point across, and kind of stop that, because it's like it's a cycle that's not just you. It's been happening for a long time. Let me see. I gotta read my notes here.
I'm finding this very interesting right now. You realize I don't usually do this kind of thing on the air.
Sorry.
Okay.
But so yeah, I just wrote down that the control when strings attached could end, it'll end with you. Just tell them, there's definitely other beings that, like I said, I heard project. I'm not sure. It's just like the bloodline, and I don't know. I didn't go too far into that part of it. I mean, I could eventually, if you ever wanted me to, try to see what I can find out. But when you have any kind of contact, just tell them it's going to be on your terms, your decision when you say so, and not theirs, because it was pretty traumatic what happened, and knowing that like in that time your consciousness never returned to your body. It was just gone. It was a very negative experience for you to go through. And it could even like, how do you feel about like the ocean or deep water? Do you like it or do you not like it?
Oh, no. There is way too many sharks out there. Old baby's a meal.
Because I wrote down huge dislike for deep water ocean. That's how, I mean, it can affect you to this day, and because of that, because of those things you saw then, it's kind of trickling down now, in smaller aspects, but it could still affect you. Let me see.
Yeah, not a fan of the deep ocean. Not a fan of the shallow ocean. Not a fan of salt water whatsoever.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, have you always been that way?
It started when I was about 17,
Mm-hmm.
And it started before that because my sisters made me watch Jaws when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think a lot of it stems from the past. Maybe Jaws just gave you a reason to validate, you know what I mean? Like for the human part of you to just validate, like, hey, I don't want any part of that, you know? But yeah, I've never asked you about the ocean before. So, I mean, I just wrote down huge dislike for the ocean or deep water. So, I definitely felt like that was, just kind of would be a part of it, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you hit the nail on the head with that one. That's for sure. We got about 3.5 minutes to go. Amber from Amber's Paraworld on YouTube and TikTok joining us tonight. She's telling me about my past life readings. It's kind of interesting. I'm learning something here.
Yep, there's always something to learn with it. But yeah, I mean, I would if you want to, you know, start kind of writing things down when you take notice of something, and just see how it, you know, give it a month or 2 or 6 months and go look at them and see what you can come up with.
So how many lives of mine did you actually tune into?
3. Let me see. Yeah, 3 of them. And that was the third one, but it was just like they weren't telling me at first. It was just like, hey, this is how this happened, or, you know, and it was just very vague, like little one-liners, you know. But you hold a lot of power to help yourself energetically, consciously, and, you know, in the spiritual world. Just gotta manifest that, tap into it, and stand your ground, you know, stand on it.
What kind of power?
Claim that power. It's just like a strong energy, a very strong energetic power. But you protecting yourself pretty much had your guides are like full armor, you know what I mean? Like they're not letting nothing get in there unless you are like, okay, it's fine. But even at that, they were still kind of guarding it. So hopefully, maybe
I still want to learn about these guides who are my guards. It just sounds so awesome.
they were guarding, for sure. But it was because you put that, you know, you had them to do it. It's like you're asking for protection from something, energy, spiritual, whatever. It's, you know, that sometimes people will ask for protection when they go into a haunted location, and then they're like, okay, it's fine. But when you said it, it was like, it stuck. Sometimes people's don't stick, you know, but yours was strong enough to kind of stick, but way stickier, you know?
And they took it seriously is what you're saying.
Yes, 100%.
Well, that's good.
And they wouldn't have had you not meant it that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you definitely have a way to make things happen when you want it to.
Well, I'm trying to learn more about positive manifestation. It's been very hard for me.
Yeah. It's something that you have to train yourself for it. And like I said, like use a part of a journal for that too. You know, once you say things and write it down enough times, you believe it. Sort of like, I mean, it's definitely like a reverse Uno card, but like, you know, that's what the media does with people. You know, you say something so much, people believe it. Or, you know, you can manipulate things by, you know, what we watch, what we see. You just, you know, be careful what you allow into your eyes, your ears, your thoughts, you know, and try to speak as if things have already happened. We can talk ourselves out of a lot of cool things happening, you know. So
and on that note, Amber, I'm going to get you to hold on.
Okay.
Because we are going to go to break. Amber from Amber's Paraworld. Next.
Listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host,
Dave Scott. All right, we are clear. So weird.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
Definitely, this is definitely the first time I've done a reading that was like this. For sure.
Well, I'm glad I could impress you.
Yeah. It was different. Here's to update your photo when it first comes on to the beard.
I'm shaving the beard soon. Shaving the beard, so I don't know when, but it's going to happen soon.
Are you over it?
No. Clearing karma. Mm-hmm. Spider Bite, welcome to SOR chat. Lightwalkers, how you doing? Hillbilly Herb, nice to see you. Who am I missing here? No, Dave does not want to get into a shark cage.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, you go right ahead.
I just don't want to go down very far. I want to be like close enough for somebody to grab me if it opens up.
Not me, man. Not me. Nope, don't like it. Don't like it a bit. That's just scary.
I think that would be funner than like skydiving, you know?
Now, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane is not good either.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Nope, not doing that. Not doing that. There are certain things I will do, but jumping out of an airplane or going diving with sharks, that's not Dave's forte.
Definitely sharks over a frog.
You're afraid of frogs?
Yes.
Why?
I'm trying to work on it. Like I was attacked by frogs when I was like 17, so.
How do you get attacked by frogs?
Oh my gosh. So helping someone clean out their pool when I was a teenager, and it was like really green and I thought it was cool, so I like jumped in it. I'm like, I'll get in it. And there were like frogs everywhere and they were climbing all over me, and I like it was too much.
That would be awesome.
It was awful. They were like those little ones and it was sticking. Nope. There was a lot of them in my hair, on my face. Nope. I haven't been the same since.
Oh man. Not me, man. I'd do frogs over sharks.
Yeah. I mean, we did see a couple the other night when we were filming, and I didn't scream and I didn't run, but they were like, what, 10, 12 feet away from me. So I just ignored them, you know? So I'm getting better. I'm working on it.
All right, we got under a minute to go. Thank you to Kitty ×2, Nikki ×2, and Amy for the super chats. We greatly appreciate your love and support of Spaced Out Radio. So thank you very, very much. Don't forget, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. Why? We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you check them on out. We'd appreciate it. We would. I promise you.
Yeah. You need to come on an adventure with me sometime.
Would love to.
That'd be
We're
fun.
coming back in 3 seconds. Hold on.
Okay.
We are into the second half of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We always appreciate you tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Let's get right to Amy from Amy's Paraworld. You want to sign up for her YouTube channel as well as her TikTok, which she has some absolutely incredible videos on there. Tens of thousands of viewers, followers, listeners. Amy, thank you for being here.
It's Amber. You called me Amy.
Ah, darn it. Amber.
It's fine.
I had such a good night going until this part. Amber's Paraworld. Amber's Paraworld on TikTok and YouTube. Amber, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hi, glad to meet you. I'm Dave.
I'm
You
Amber.
were giving me a reading about my past lives. You came to 3 of them. What was the closest one to us? 1911?
Yes. That's the one that they allowed me to access.
That's actually pretty close because my grandfather on my mom's side, so my mom's dad, he was born in 1911 or 1912? I think 1911 he was born. My grandmother was born in 1912.
Yep, this one took place in 1911, and that's where,
Where did I live?
This was in the South, but in America, in the South. Which I don't really get a lot of, just in general. I mean, we have past lives everywhere, but usually they're like in different countries. So that was interesting that it was in the South. Like I'm like Alabama, Georgia, that kind of area, like down in the South. It was hot.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So do you think then that there is a tie altogether regarding everybody's past lives? So like if I was like, I believe you said it was like 1500s first one you picked up. If I was abducted by aliens then, do you think they follow the timeline to keep in touch with me?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I do think that like because of all these past lives, we're kind of like recycled souls. You know what I mean? Like we just get recycled over and over and over again. I'm trying to figure out how to not do that because, I guess it's just draining after a while, right? Like just Earth is a hard lesson. Everybody has a story to tell and, things that they've been, gone through and trauma and just different things happen. And it's very hard. And we do this over and over and over and over. And like, when does it end? Does it ever end?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You can't answer your own questions before I get to ask them. Then again, you are intuitive.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard there's different theories going around of, what people think. Like I recently was looking into, I don't know what I didn't look into this one, but one was like a moon trap theory, like where somehow the moon traps you. But then there's also, when souls go to the light, because we're always like, we see it in movies, right? We see it in movies, go to the light. What if that light is just recycling you like back and forth? What if you don't go that way? do you get recycled? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm working on right now.
What do you think then about people who just don't want to be here anymore?
What do you mean, like, as far as
Their soul? So I'll give you an example if you don't mind. Okay. One of our former guests on this show was a set of twins from Saskatchewan in British Columbia. Okay. And I was talking to one twin about it who said that her other one had been talking like she's married, 2 beautiful daughters, great life, but her soul, she felt, was tired and she didn't want to be here anymore. So she went into the astral one night and left her soul, and her body was taken over by a different soul. And her twin believes that her sister, although the same, is different. Like there's a different little tone to her voice. She just acts a little bit different. Do you think that's possible?
I do. I do think so. I'm not sure how often it happens, but I definitely think that's possible. Yeah.
It's hard to imagine that somebody would just wants to leave their body.
I mean, it just depends on how many times your soul has done this, you know? I mean, if you're doing this over and over and over and over and you just want to be done. I mean, I would think most of the time you'd wait till like your human body passes away before that exchange would happen. But I mean, maybe she was needed somewhere else or for a different purpose. You know, maybe it changed. I definitely think it could happen. I know, well, I mean, there's not enough time to even get into it, but I do know that consciousness can be instilled. Like there are things out there that can instill consciousness into bodies. It happens. It happens in the world we live in. So yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Let's get to some audience questions here. Let's start off with Jennifer. How did the scary fairy make you feel?
At the moment, it was just kind of like, it was so fast. I really didn't even have time to feel anything other than like, you know, oh my gosh, like I just seen this. And usually it starts with me saying, "You'll never guess what I just saw." Yeah, that's usually what you know. If you're out with me somewhere and I say that, then something wild's about to happen. But like looking back at it now, I wish it lasted longer. Like there was more of an interaction. I wasn't really scared of it at all. Just curious, you know, I guess on both ends. Just kind of unexpected.
Shane is asking, Amber, have you communicated with Sasquatch, like mind speak or even verbal communication?
Many years ago I have. I haven't done it for a while. I get, like I said earlier, I just I don't really feel the need to. I mean, I guess there's just really nothing I really need to, like, I'm not like documenting anything for like, you know, a documentary or, I think it's just like there's a mutual understanding that they're here for the good. You know, a lot of humans are here for the good. So let's just kind of, you know, we just need to work together. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I just haven't messed with it, you know, trying to do that for a while.
What's it like to have that communication for what people don't know?
It's unique, to say the least. But I feel like depending on where someone is energetically, you know, what type of consciousness you're on, the communication can be a lot different. It may not, it's not going to be the same for everybody. If one person is connecting with something with dowsing rods, whether it's a Sasquatch or something else, whatever it is, doesn't mean that the next person is going to be able to do that or wants to do that. But like, it just depends on where you're at, how something is going to connect with you. Because you have to be able to understand it and do it. So everybody's communication is going to be different.
Right. Let's go back to Jennifer. What happened with the old hag screaming at you? Did you get rid of her?
Yes.
So before you answer this question, you're going to have to tell our audience the story.
Well, I was talking about it earlier. That's the one that was like screaming in my ear. And, every night when I'd go to bed, she would just say my name over and over. And it was just so loud, it would hurt my ear. But yeah, it took some time. But after the night that she was screaming and the man walked in and grabbed me, it was a little bit of time after that because I was trying to reach out to whoever I could. And this is back when I could barely use Facebook. And, I don't even think Wi-Fi was a thing, was it? Like, I didn't have it. So it was hard to really find anybody. But yeah, she's gone, but it took a while. But and all it came down to was me saying, you know what? You're not allowed to do this anymore. You cannot do that to me anymore. You're not allowed to walk in my room. You're not allowed to scream at me. And it stops. Like, you have to just, like, I put my foot down. Sometimes dead people are like toddlers. Some listen, some don't. And, you just treat them accordingly. But yeah, she's gone.
For people who don't know what an old hag is, maybe you could explain that.
There's different theories on what it is, but it's just like I almost don't think she was ever human, but I'm not saying she's a demon because there's so many things that are not human, that have never been human, that are nowhere near a demon. But she was just this lady, this energy, this lady, and she would try to keep me awake at night. And they scream at you and kind of torment you, make you think you're going crazy. There for a while, I kind of did think that nobody else heard her. And, when you're experiencing something like that, it can mess with your head. When you're being tormented by something that people can't see, that you can't see all the time, but you can hear it and it's tormenting you. So that's kind of just in this situation. That's what I called her. That's what I've always called her. But like I said, there's other theories on like what they're supposed to look like or whatever. But that's
scary.
Huh?
It's just scary.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I mean, even if that were to happen again today, I mean, I would probably be a little scared, I'm like, but I have better tools now to handle that.
All right, let's get to another question. Let's go to Joe here, who is asking, massive thunder and lightning storm last night. I kept seeing things moving in the yard and the woods. Shadows were there that shouldn't be shadows. Does lightning bring out the cryptids?
Yeah, well, it's there's energy in it. So absolutely it can give them more energy to maybe make themselves like to make themselves known. But also, I think a lot of them like to move when there is something, maybe there's a little something going on. If they need to be where there's maybe more people, what better time to do it than during thunder and lightning and a little bit of rain, when people aren't going to be hearing or paying attention. So it's more like using it as a disguise to And there's been a theory too that rain can give spirit energy, or something like that energy. In my experience, though, I mean, it's 100% possible that it probably does, because there's like water. Oh my gosh, like almost like a water fae type thing. There's things in that help the water. The same with the air, the earth. But in my experience, like especially if you're like out investigating, the rain makes it super hard to hear anything, and something could walk up on you, or you could get yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in because you can't hear. So I try not to do a whole lot of investigations, even in buildings. You don't want to be in a situation where you can't hear what's around you.
Definitely not. And you also don't want to be in a situation where all of a sudden everything goes silent.
Oh my gosh. That happened the other day to me. I hate it. I get out of the car, the frogs are just going crazy. Then all of a sudden get my camera on and it's silent. And I'm like, something about to happen.
Yeah. And around here, when the forest goes silent, that's when all of a sudden you feel the hair raise on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Because you know that there is something there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Something kind of alarmed, when it alarms the wildlife and all the little critters. Because, I mean, think about it. Why would crickets and frogs and birds out just all at the same time? Like there's something going on.
I agree. But it all depends. Is it cryptid, or is it, something that's natural that's already out there?
Well, I mean, cryptids are natural too. Maybe we're the odd ones out. We're the humans that always destroy everything and tear up stuff and want to control everything. Maybe we're the ones that kind of don't belong in that world. If you know what I mean? We're the odd ones out.
Well, I can understand that. Trust me, I can. I guess where I'm going with that is Mother Nature has the animals that we know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the animals that we don't know that are a little creepy at times.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that fear me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to uncivil engineer. Have you ever heard of an animal or human voice that came from out of thin air, so to speak?
Yes. All the time, especially just voices. And I'll tell you, just it's kind of funny, and I don't get it, but most of the time, if we're out like walking or like, just whatever I'm doing in the woods, most of the time when it comes to spirit, the most, or the word they use the most is hey. And then sometimes I'll see them like go behind a tree, and I'm like, why are you just going to keep on saying hey or popping out and saying something? Like, just what do you want? Do you want something, or are you just trying to scare me? I don't, but it's so funny sometimes. But hey is like the most used word by spirit that I've encountered. And Tammy heard it one night, but it wasn't, I don't think he said hey, but we were like in a cemetery and like right beside each other, and this man's voice was right between us. I mean, we were alone, and she about jumped in my arms. She's like, I heard that. She's like, usually it's just you hearing it, but she heard it that night, and it scared her so bad.
Man, I've only heard the talking once, and that was last year. I don't want to ever hear it again. Myself in those situations,
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to happen.
She said I freaked out. Yes, and even if you go places like that and you just grab your phone and record for a few minutes and pop you some headphones on and listen back and crank the volume up, because sometimes you can catch a lot of things and not even know it.
Oh yes, absolutely. And it's funny, like for when people come on my ghost tour, that's what I tell them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is you have to pay attention. Just because you're not hearing it doesn't mean that it isn't happening around
Mm-hmm.
you.
And and another thing is, when you're listening for voices and to hear them, people are so busy talking to each other and we're stomping in the woods and we're making noise. Sometimes you just got to be still. You just got to be quiet and be still and just kind of take in what's around you, because we can miss it so easily.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's the best message you've received from spirit?
I think it's just when they want their loved ones to know that they're okay. And it happens a lot. And it sounds so cliche, but in those moments, that living person is really struggling. There was a time, and it's been a few years back, that we were at I think it was like Applebee's eating dinner, and it was kind of crowded. There was a woman and an older lady sitting across from us, and I kept seeing this guy standing there, and I knew he passed away from like a lung issue, respiratory. He was coughing a lot, so he was making me cough, and this was like right when the whole you know all that pandemic happened. So I'm trying not to cough, and I'm like feeling like I'm going to throw up. This guy was like showing me that he's throwing up, and he's like, just tell her I'm here. And finally I get up, because I'm like, I'm not able to eat and sit here normal, like, and be normal. So I go over to her and I'm like, hey, I'm Amber. I can connect with dead people. And there's this man, and I described him, and I'm like, he wants you to know he's okay. Like, you're struggling with this. He's all right. And it was her father, and he had just passed a few weeks before that. And she was like tore up. And before you know it, there's like all these people staring at us. But and then after that, it was fine. Like, I was able to enjoy my dinner, and she felt better about it. So sometimes it happens like that.
One final question for you from Shogun here. We've got about 90 seconds. Have you ever run into a case where a person putting down their foot didn't work?
Yes. And the only advice, I can only help someone so much, because I can direct you and give you guidance, but you have to, and just like I told you earlier, you have to kind of claim your sovereignty, stand in your power. If you don't believe that you're strong enough to put your foot down and to make things leave, then it's never going to work. You're always going to get tormented. You have to stand in that and not give it a second thought. Stand in it, and don't let other people, when you're talking about things, it can give them energy. Just like cemeteries, all the dead people aren't in the cemetery. They're with their families. But when we go reading graves and walking around talking about them, that's what brings them in. So you're going to bring something in by continuing to talk about it, or saying, oh, I hope it doesn't get me tonight. Or, just people talk themselves into situations. So you have to stand in it, and you have to mean it. Be firm, put your foot down, and believe it. You have to believe it.
Amber, I want to say thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. We encourage all of our audience to head on over to your TikTok, to your YouTube, hit subscribe, ring that bell, and enjoy the dozens of videos that Amber has on her channel. Amber's Paraworld.
Well, thank you for having me.
Her. And up next, Swampy and Lee Strauss. You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott. Great job tonight, Amber. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was.
We kind of talked about everything, didn't we?
We did. I do want to talk to you offline about that reading thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that soon.
Okay. Yeah, just get a hold of me whenever.
I will. You take care. Go get some sleep.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Stop now! You're under arrest! Hands up! Don't move!
Don't get caught without your spaced out radio merchandise. We have t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, socks, hats, stickers, and so much more. Whatever you're looking for, we have you covered. Why just be a fan of the paranormal when you can look the part? We don't have ugly merch, folks. Check out the Spaced Out Radio store. Find the link in the description below.
Dirty filth. Dirty filth. Dirty filth.
Object is heading north 045 degrees. It's definitely not a plane. It seems to be tethered to something. Is that a banner, Joe? Caribou Con. Does anyone know what Caribou Con is?
Caribou Con, one of the BC Caribou region's best-kept secrets. Until now. Join our panel of renowned paranormal experts for a weekend of fun and intriguing presentations. Go to cariboucon.com to book or inquire now.
Over here. Look at this.
Discover Spaced Out Radio on all your favorite platforms. We're live every single night with the best in UFOs, cryptids, paranormal, and the unexplained. And you can find us on all your favorite platforms. Head over to Instagram for behind the scenes and daily weirdness, TikTok for quick mind-bending clips, Facebook for community discussions, and X for real-time updates and hot takes. Wherever you scroll, Spaced Out Radio is there. So go search Spaced Out Radio on every platform, hit follow, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single episode. The weird is waiting. See you there.
The McNeil House is one of several buildings at the 108-mile heritage site said to be haunted by spirits of a time long forgotten. But would you stay the night? Along with guided ghost tours and paranormal investigations, Haunted 108 is offering a chance to spend the entire night inside the historic McNeil House. by booking one of our B&B style sleepovers, where you can experience the hauntings firsthand, meet the resident ghost cat, and witness unusual activity. If you dare to turn history into a night you'll never forget, book your spot now at haunted108.com. Spots are limited. Will you be brave enough?
All right. We thank you all for watching intently. Let's bring in extra small Lee Strauss. There he is. We got commercials now.
Yeah, I can't jump on like I normally do when you're taking a smoke and say something funny anymore. I can't do it.
I'm sorry, buddy. Thank you to Shogun, Nikki ×2, Kitty Caddywhack ×2, and Amy for the super chats. We really appreciate your great support. Don't forget, you can join our YouTube membership, our Patreon, and it's a great way to support us as well. Here we go. Here is the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We always appreciate you tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You could follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Calademon is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam says the password each and every night. Right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. Being a forest ranger isn't always as cool as it sounds. Usually, it's pretty boring. It can get very redundant. But, on occasion, we see some pretty spooky things out here in the Ocala National Forest. The story I'm going to share with you today happened somewhere around the Lake George area. Recently, I have been extra vigilant while roaming the woods. We have had several reports of what people thought could be an exotic pet loose. Some people reported seeing a chimpanzee, and others a Bigfoot. I had been looking for any sign of chimp or chimpanzees in the area, scouring the ground for droppings, looking through the trees, etc. I honestly thought people were just freaked out by the recent pictures of what some lady alleged was a skunk ape. I felt like it sparked a reaction of hysteria. I've personally never been one to believe much of the Bigfoot stuff, but this day still makes me think twice sometimes. As I was exploring around Lake George, I heard what sounded like a very large branch snap from high above me. I couldn't quite place where it came from, since the birds were very loud that morning. I tried to shrug it off, but I have this incredible feeling of being watched. I started to walk back towards the way I came, when suddenly, the woods went quiet. No birds, no bugs, not even the wind. Just eerie silence. I heard another branch snap, but this time, much closer than before. I began to really get nervous, because I have never experienced the woods this silent before, not even with bobcats, panthers, or wolves around. I began to walk at a brisk pace, to try and not look like fleeing prey. But I get about 200 feet away, when I hear a loud wailing, which I can only describe as monkey-like. Suddenly, sticks and rocks are being tossed at me from the tops of the trees, and a whirlwind of noise erupts. I run as fast as I possibly can to get to my vehicle and get the hell out of there. The thing that freaks me out the most, though, is that there was nothing in the trees. They were completely empty. I looked up, and it was fall time, so most of the trees were pretty bare. I still have no idea what happened that day. I just don't really talk about it, because I don't want to sound insane.
Thank you, Swampy, for another creepy story. If you want more just like that, head on over to YouTube, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Swampy has thousands of stories for you to listen to each and every night. From the swamp to the stars, we bring in our good friend, Lee Strauss, for the Q&A.
They call him extra small, but it's big where it counts. Chasing Bigfoot through the woods on wild accounts. Talking ghosts in the dark, UFOs in the sky. Aliens laughing while they're cruising by. Yeah, Lee Strauss is out there. Hear that cosmic call. He's the legend of Element 115. Hero Spaced Out Radio's Q&A.
Lee Strauss, it is always great to have you back on Spaced Out Radio, my friend. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Dave. Just, doing the same thing you are, working 6 days a week.
Hey, one of these days, one job would be nice, not two, one.
You're telling me.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. You know
but
what?
You enjoy the subject, man. So,
oh yeah, we do have to talk about this, and that is Artemis 2 has arrived home safely. The astronauts came back safely, and I'll tell you, the last 10 days, 11 days, whatever it's been since they launched. I guess they launched on April 1st. It has been absolute excitement for me. I was watching every day. I watched the launch. I watched when they came home. And I just feel so proud to be a human. I was talking to a radio friend of mine, Gary Arnell, and we were both talking about the emotions of the launch, the emotions of watching them come back home when they went around the moon. Okay. And the one thing that I noticed outside of the tinfoil hats conspiracy people who believe that it's all filmed, it's fake, the earth is flat, whatever it may be, it united a lot of people. Because this is something I see as a foreigner, because being Canadian, I'm foreign to my American friends and compatriots who listen to this show. But it wasn't about, oh, that guy's a Republican or that guy's a Democrat or that guy's a Canadian, whatever. It was about America going back to space and taking a good Canadian kid with them. But it was uniting. And it was nice to see that everybody at least was trying to cheer them on, excited about their voyage into the heavens above us, going further than any human has gone before. Would I have liked to have seen him land on the moon? Absolutely, I would. Okay. I would have loved to have seen them stretch for a little bit because that capsule looked pretty damn small. But I don't know, man. It just made me happy to see. How did you feel?
I felt I'm one of the flat earthers on this one. I'm sorry, Dave. I really I understand where you're coming from. Because it is a uniting thing. It absolutely is. When you get a bunch of people from, different countries together to do something so risky, and it is incredibly risky to do this sort of thing. But I really feel in my heart of hearts that this was something that was done on not necessarily a sound stage, but it wasn't real.
Really?
Yeah.
And what gives you that impression? This actually kind of shocks me from you because you're like Mr. Pragmatic.
Yeah, I know, but it seems like we need, with everything that's going on right now, we need a uniting thing, a situation that's more uniting like this. And it was like for quite a while, we had heard that this mission was going to happen, and then it kind of like dropped off the radar, right? And then all of a sudden it came back. Oh, they're launching in 2 weeks, and it's like, holy crud! What the heck? Where did this come out of nowhere? And maybe that's just the news cycle and all the crud that is going on, right? That it's kind of been pushed to the back burner of the news cycle. But to me, it just seemed like it was not a false flag sort of thing, but it was put out there to, put that something in our hearts, like something uniting, within us. And so, because you're seeing so much of, the tearing apart right now of of people, right? And their thoughts about certain things, that we needed something uniting like this, and it came at the right time. It just seemed too coincidental for me.
I never thought I would hear that reaction from you. I'm actually shocked right now. I'm very shocked. I don't believe you. No offense. I still like you. I don't believe you.
Well, over time, and there's been a lot of things, stuff with the moon mission that went on that, back in the day, I thought that all this stuff was real. And then you really start taking things apart, and you start dissecting things, and you start seeing shadows and different stuff. And it's like, well, this doesn't make sense, right? So this is my concern, is that you got China. China has been planning this around the moon mission, right, as well. And then they want to land, humans on the moon, astronauts on the moon, before we get back there to do the same thing. And it seems to me like back in the day when you had the cosmonauts from Russia, right? Wanting to, from USSR, to go up there and do stuff that's never been done before, right? And then we had to beat them to the punch. This is sort of kind of similar to what we did, with the cosmonauts in Russia, and what we're doing with China right now.
I can see your conspiratorial spidey senses moving at about 100 miles an hour right now. I get it. I can understand it. All right. There are parts of the old Apollo videos that I think need to be questioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like the flag waving when there's no wind.
Right.
Who was holding the camera when they came down?
that one right there.
Okay. There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
The videos, let's just say hypothetically, the videos are alive from the Apollo 11 mission. Hypothetically.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where you are curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay? The lack of dust on the moon.
Mm.
When the LEM takes off. And they have a camera watching the LEM take off. Who's filming?
How did they retrieve the footage? I mean, there's all these crazy things, right? And me being a film guy and a photography guy, these things really bother me. So I'm skeptical, but I'm not like a negative skeptical person. I'm I try to be positive, right? And not to call anybody out or anything out or or that sort of stuff. But there's questions that we have that still need answers. And when we do a similar type of thing, like go around the moon, the first thing that we need an answer for is the Van Allen belt, and how the heck we got out without getting radiated to death. Now, from my understanding, it's like a donut, right? Except for at the poles where it breaks free and it comes off the poles. So they can actually escape the Van Allen belt by going to the poles and then going out and around without getting too much radiation, which is possible, I suppose, but there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, and that would be my first question. How did they do it?
Well, they just did it.
Yeah.
They just did it. I'm sorry to laugh at you, Lee. I'm blown away right now. I am blown away.
Yeah.
I have watched you be way more skeptical on things that are UFO or Sasquatch or whatever, and be extremely pragmatic and deep thought and critical thinking.
Yeah.
And on this one, you have tinfoil wrapped right around your body. You look like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz right now.
Yeah. I'm I have to admit that's where I'm at, but this is where my mind's at right now, and I can see a lot of reasons why they would want to make this up. And I would hope to God that they didn't, that this really happened. This is something that we did. And believe it or not, I actually hope that China actually lands, astronauts on the moon. I really hope that happens.
So you're going to believe China, a country known for propaganda, lying.
I didn't say I was going to believe them. I just said that I hope that they do what they say they're going to do, right? I mean, the best case scenario is we get more material, more equipment, and that sort of thing on our nearest neighbor, the moon. We need equipment there. We absolutely do. And it shouldn't be a US thing or a China thing or a USSR thing. It needs to be a world thing, right? I mean, this whole the whole thing with UFO disclosure. There it goes. Okay, I'm back. UFO disclosure is that it's not just about one country, it's about the whole world, right? And so I hope to God that we can take that and make it about everybody and about the people of the world as far as, the moon is concerned, and landing people up there and having, moon bases and that sort of thing. But my fear is that people are going to try to aim on the moon because of natural resources that are there, helium-3 and some other things that they can use to actually go from the moon to Mars. And I would hate to see it become a battleground.
No, it'll end up like Area 51, where all the bases are there, all the companies are there.
Yeah, companies. There you go. That's a big point that you just made.
Damn well there's going to be a Taco Bell there.
Just for Dave.
If there is a Taco Bell there, I'll tell you right now, I'm catching that rocket.
Yeah, I bet you would. But yeah, that's a huge point, what you just said about companies, because, these countries invest in companies, right? Our countries do. in a major, major way. And these companies, these, trillion-dollar companies help support the countries that they belong to. So why wouldn't they, if we can get to the moon and find resources there, why wouldn't they? But yeah, we're getting off topic here. Yeah, I just have a hard time swallowing it right now.
What out of the footage that you have seen of Artemis, what doesn't look real?
As you know well, Dave, right now, we have the ability to AI just about everything. And you think that the technology that the consumer has is good. I guarantee you the technology that the government has a hold of as far as AI is a lot better.
Well, of course it
Okay.
is. But that doesn't
Okay.
mean that they haven't gone.
Right. It's a possibility, and right now I'm sitting firmly in the camp that they did not go.
So where do you think they went?
I think they were in a capsule, here on Earth somewhere. In on a sound stage or wherever. There's some really, and unfortunately I don't have the details, but I remember hearing there was some very interesting things about some coincidences with the people that went. And I wish I could pull them up right now, but I didn't realize we are gonna have this discussion. But there was some things about individuals that did go that are very tied into some other things from the past, right? Too coincidental, sort of things. So,
Man, I'm still in shock. I am completely in shock right now. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am.
I'm sorry, Joe Monk. I'm sorry, buddy.
I am completely in shock. Was there anything on these missions? And you know what? I do think you brought up a good point about the AI. Because I will tell you this, NASA, as much as I love to criticize him, and I'll continue down that road today.
Yeah.
Their video footage was terrible compared to SpaceX. It was choppy. It wasn't smooth. It looks like at times they had an amateur YouTuber who has like 28 subscribers putting their camera equipment setups on. It was terrible. You look at SpaceX, how smooth everything is. The cameras that are used, the cameras inside the pods when the rockets detach, or
the satellites come out. I mean, all of that stuff. It's very, very impressive what they do. Those are static.
You trust SpaceX over NASA?
Yeah, I think I would actually. NASA's given us a dirty deal, man. They lie to us constantly about stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have been hoodwinked so many times by NASA. I just can't go there.
So there it is. That's the answer. That's the reason why you're not believing it. It's NASA, not the astronauts or the mission. We'll talk more about that, more UFO talk with Lee Strauss on the Q&A next. This is Spaced Out Radio. Your host, Dave Scott. All right, we're clear. The J Key, how you doing? Jakey, the film that I was talking about was when they first took off, when they first launched. The video footage that NASA had was like McDonald's compared to steak and lobster that SpaceX does. It was terrible. The feeds were cutting, and they, you know, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Well, okay, so yeah, a rocket was launched, but I doubt that the astronauts were in that rocket.
Oh my God. You are absolutely killing me right now.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I just okay, what happens if the rocket had exploded? Let's say it didn't make it. Something happened and it exploded. Is that something that the US could afford to have going on right now? No.
It would have been
Absolutely
a
freaking
great
not.
failure if that happened.
There is no way that can happen right now because of all the other crap that is going on. We cannot afford to fail because it would look hugely bad on the global stage. Hugely. We have to it would just it would not be good, being the fact that we're not at war but we are in a conflict. We just can't afford to have any major hiccups. So I think it was safe. My opinion.
Nope.
All right.
Nope. I'm blown away by you, man. I'm like, I don't even know how to talk to you. Like, I can't even look at you right now.
That's all right. I mean, it's okay to not see it my way. That's fine. That's okay. That's just NASA has done so many dirty things to us in the past. I mean, the possibility is that they have sent us photos that they say are from Mars that may not be from Mars. That could be from
I agree with you on that. There has been those Mars photos where they found an island or something in central Canada where the topography matches up with those photos.
Yes, there have been some things, and so that that sort of thing is really prominent on my mind right now as we watch what happened.
Oh, best comment of the night right now by Honest Content. Katy Perry was too busy for this one. That is amazing. You know what? You get a tip of the cap for that one. You get a tip of the cap for that.
That is good.
That was nice. That was very nice. Stargazer, for the record, I live in a higher elevation than Lee does.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Joe. It's completely fine, man. Yeah.
All right, we got 7 seconds. Here we go, the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. It's the Q&A with our resident flat earther, Lee Strauss. Good to have you back, Lee. Oh, we're still laughing. We're still laughing. No, Lee is not really a flat earther.
I am definitely not a flat earther. No, not at all. Not at all. It's
let's get into this because this is good conversation, Lee. Okay, right before the break, you said you have troubles believing that Artemis 2 actually happened because not because you're not sure if it went up or not, but because you don't trust NASA, because NASA has literally pulled the wool over the eyes of American citizens for way too long.
Yeah, they have. Time and time again. It's, we want to believe in something. We want to believe in our country, right? We want to believe in the US and that we're doing all these magnificent things. But I think with this, like I said before, we needed a win, and this was a way to give the people a win. But truly, I don't believe there was that many eyes on this. I really don't think there was. I think, I think this was almost a side note for what's been going on in Iran and around the world with different things.
They'd been planning this way before Iran.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not a flat earther. I just try to look at things, and collect the information and then put things together so it makes sense for me. And right now, what makes sense is the fact that NASA has lied to us so many times that I can't go into this believing that it happened the way they're portraying it did. Okay. If you think about the fact that we have to have a win right now, right? And we can't accept failure at the moment because it would look bad on the world stage. I think this was a way to win. I don't know. There have been scientists from NASA that have said, Dave, that they don't know how the astronauts got on Apollo 11 or any other mission, how they got to the moon and how they landed on the moon. I mean, there's, and this is hearsay, of course it is, but there are scientists that have come out and said, we don't know how they did it, or, how can we get back there to do it? Now China's doing it, but how are we not aware of how we went to the moon and landed on the moon and then, came back home? There have been so many astronauts as well that have come forward and talked about things that, had supposedly happened that maybe did not happen at all. So it's, I'm sorry, but I just have a very, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on this one. Skeptical bone. I've got a very skeptical bone about it.
Now, I will say this. there are many people who, especially citizen researchers, who look heavily into the photographs from Mars that NASA has claimed to be photographs from their Mars rovers. And yet, when you look at those photos, there's actually an island when it is melted from snow that looks very much like Mars terrain in Canada. And some of those photos have been lined up to the point of rocks. Now, this is getting way before we got into the AI thing. These studies have been going on for about 20 years.
Right.
And I will say that I am the first one to crap on NASA. If you've listened to this show for a long time, I am the first one to call them out about the BS that they know nothing about UFOs or slash UAPs. Former head Bill Nelson holding the press conference. We got to get to the bottom of these UAPs. Bill, did you look in your own closet? No? Well, maybe that's where you should start because you lead NASA. Stop being never a straight answer.
I will say this is, the old adage, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Right. And so I'm just not, that's it with me. That's where I'm at. I don't trust it.
I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. Devon Island is what it's called. It is in Nunavut, a territory in central Canada, way up north. It is known as Mars on Earth due to its rocky, barren, and cold polar desert topography. As the world's largest uninhabited island, its unique landscape featuring the Houghton Impact Crater is used by NASA for the Houghton Mars project to simulate Martian surface conditions and test equipment. There you go. There you go. So, no, you're right. NASA doesn't deserve to be trusted. And you're right. America did need to retake the lead in the space race, even though they were already leading it with SpaceX. Did NASA have to waste the money when you have SpaceX already planning moon and Mars landings? Did you have to show 4 people in such tight quarters? Now, if I were to go down your rabbit hole, and once again, I do believe Artemis 2 went around the moon. But if I go down Flat Earth Lee Strauss's rabbit hole, I will say this, Lee. I will say this. That cabin that they were in on top of the rocket was made for 1 person, not 4. That's how small it was. How do you send them into space for 10 days with a broken toilet? Okay. Yes, they allegedly got it going. Okay. No shower, no room for a shower, no room for anything except the maple syrup that the good Canadian kid brought. Thank you, Jeremy Hansen. You want to hear a travesty in my country? Our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, he barely said anything about the praise of our Canadian astronaut, Jeremy Hansen, and the crew that he was working with. Really? Except where he did say something, his big round of applause was that during one of their media accesses that the astronauts did, Jeremy Hansen read it in French or said his answer in French, becoming the first French interview by a Canadian astronaut. That was the highlight for our prime minister. Never mind the science. Never mind how inspirational this could be for children who have a dream. Because I'm going to specifically focus on Jeremy Hansen here. From the time he was a young boy till the time he made lieutenant colonel in the Canadian Armed Forces, he knew he wanted to go to space. He lived his dream. And this is where I kind of look at it. You have a moment to talk to all of these children to live your dream. Go for it. Dreams do come true. And not just with hockey pucks in Canada. And we're only talking about the fact that he went bilingual in an interview. Yay. That's how messed up Canada is right now, from top to bottom. Right? Anyways, there's my political rant for the night. But nonetheless, if I were to wear the Flat Earth Lee Strauss hat for a second, all right?
I'm catching it all today, I'll tell you what.
Oh, man. And alive. I would say this. The capsule was way too small for 4 people. And watching them jammed in there like sardines, I would be afraid to bump something. What does this button do? I don't know. My butt actually accidentally hit it.
Yep. I don't know how they functioned in that small environment for 10 days. I mean, how do you sleep even? Okay, so weightlessness, obviously, if they're in space. Being tethered or strapped into a chair, it might get kind of comfortable actually, but I just can't imagine your elbows and your hands and your feet doing things and hitting things that they shouldn't be hitting. So
see, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, okay? But what I'm saying is, if I were to go down your road, the capsule is what weirds me out. That's the one that gets me. But I mean, I do believe that we did go. I 100% agree with that.
Oh my God.
All right. You don't got that one on me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, people are really Joe. I am catching the heat tonight. That's all right. That's all right.
Chat room is not agreeing with you tonight.
No.
No. Not at all.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk some Tim Burchett.
All right.
He's the man of the hour, the day, the week, the month in ufology right now. Literally saying that Donald Trump needs to dig into this a little bit more. He needs to go a little bit harder on this. He needs to be able to start taking control of this situation like no president ever has, because we all believe they are read inly and they don't have a choice but to follow the game plan. On with Stephen A. Smith. We thank them for the audio here. This is what was said here.
I told President Trump the other day, you need disclosure. We need transparency. America can handle it. I'm sick of hearing this stuff. We can't handle it. It's, and I'm a Christian, and they appealed to me on that level. Barcha, this stuff's kind of anti-Christian, and your beliefs. I said, no, it isn't. Genesis 1, God created the heavens and the earth. I wouldn't believe it unless I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
There you go.
Yep.
Push the president.
Well, in the past, we've heard that the presidents don't have the need to know. That's been a common theme. So what is Donald going to do about releasing, the goods here. There's not a lot he can do, because a lot of that technology is held by private companies. I mean, I guess what could be done, and I don't know if the president has the power to do this, but he might be able to withhold contracts from certain companies if they don't give up the goods, or at least, you know, kind of possibly give that the funds to another company, you know, or something like that, diverting funds and that sort of thing. But you know, well that money rules the world, right? So, and that's very unfortunate. But I mean, he's got to have to hit them in the pocketbook somehow if they're not going to come with the tech that they already have, or you know, and the UFOs that are being researched right now. I mean, the only way to do it is, like I said, just to hit him in the pocketbook.
I don't think he's willing to take on as a, and I hate to use this term because he's only 1 year in, but the second term for any president is a lame duck term.
Yeah.
You're a lame duck. You try and shove as much as you can that you want, you believe in, to kind of push the country into that direction. You hope it's good so the next guy can continue it. Until the next person comes in and says, yeah, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, we're getting rid of this, executive order that.
Yep.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah. But he has so far found some very inventive ways of getting around certain things, which it astonishes me. So maybe he's got a surprise Easter egg that he's been sitting on, and we're just not aware yet. So let's hope that that's the case. But that has, you know, yet to be revealed. I'm hearing now that the beginning of May may be the time when he comes out. There's this new coin, apparently, a UFO coin. Have you heard this?
We've had them for a long time in Canada.
Yeah, but we have not yet in the US. So that is something that it could be coming. I guess the design has already been made. And I will be probably the first one on the website to get all, you know, to purchase one for sure if they are going to do that. But I don't know where the proceeds go. That would be interesting to find out. But yeah, everything is pointing towards disclosure. I just feel that there's a couple people in the, you know, in the military for one, and then in private companies that are holding out, that don't want it. But the momentum seems to be there right now. And
well, I also think too, though, I mean, man, I wish we had another hour because we could totally get into the disclosure aspect of it all.
Yeah.
But the public also needs to decide what kind of disclosure is acceptable.
We're not
And
gonna
why, and why, sorry for cutting you off there for a second, Lee. And why are we so negative about everything the government does? We don't believe the government on anything because we know they play shenanigans all the time. It doesn't matter whether it's municipal, whether it's provincial in my country or statewide in your country, or if it's federally. There are shenanigans at every level being played with almost every tax dollar that they are wasting. We get that. Why then are we supposed to believe them on one of the most controversial topics ever in UFOs and ET contact? And yet we have people all over the place. Oh, well, the government has our best interest at heart when it comes to this subject. No, they don't. No, they don't. It's like they're supposed to That's like saying they have our best interest at heart when it comes to health care. Okay. If the United States, not to get into the healthcare debate, but this is from an outsider's perspective. If the United States really cared about healthcare, would you see so many drug commercials, prescription drug commercials every day on television? No.
Well, once again, it's about the money. It's about the money. They want to line their pockets. That's why. Anyway, I'm not going to get political. So, but I refuse to get political on this show. Damn it.
I know. Dave drives a hard set of rules. Set of rules.
That's okay. It's this topic that we're talking about is all inclusive. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, or who you voted for. This is about the human species, and that's why we're discussing it. So
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to say that, it seems like the ball is rolling forward, even though, like I said, there's a couple small hiccups in the road, and now it seems like the new thing that is coming out is that the ETs are demons, right? Like, this is pervasive now. This is like the new talking point, and we can't talk about it because ETs are demons. What the heck is that about anyway? Does that even freaking make sense to anybody? I mean, really? Coming from a Catholic.
And on that note, we say goodnight to Lee Strauss and hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Dahl. Rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, Elga, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, and on the Space Travelers Club, hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends,
we're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody. All right, bud.
All right.
We're clear.
I'm sorry. I've just been burned too many times. So I'm going to be skeptical,
You didn't even notice the name change I made for you.
I didn't see that shit, dude. Oh my God. That is so bad. You are something else.
Oh, it's done out of love, though.
Oh, I know. We're having a good time, and that's what it's about.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I'm still shocked, though.
Oh, come on. Really? Why?
Why?
I just yeah, it's like
because it's you, Lee. I remember debating alien contact with you.
Yeah. But
You're
that stuff you know,
You're Lee frickin' Strauss, man.
yeah,
It's
I
not
just
it's not Lee who is like, out there protesting, you know, Earth is flat.
no, I'm not. There's no way. It's just it I'm just happily skeptical. I don't know a better way to put it. It's okay that I am, it's okay that other people are or
Oh, I
aren't.
agree.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Lee. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Oh,
not
no,
saying
it's
you're wrong.
fine. If
All I'm
it
saying is I'm blown away because you're
Yeah.
Lee.
Well, it's okay if I'm wrong. I agree with that. I think that it's okay that, other people are right. It's just I can't put all my eggs in that basket. I just can't go there.
Oh yeah. NASA is like taking a person out on a date and then having them dine and dash you. One of those, I got to go to the washroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
They disappear. I get that. What you mean by NASA, they're scoundrels.
And they have been. The thing is, there's so many of us, in the audience that we all believe in ETs because we've seen something or we've heard something or we have friends that have seen things, and it's we want to believe that the things that we are doing in space are real, which, could very well be, but there have been serious questions raised. And a lot of the footage that I've seen in the past makes me question those things myself. So I can't be with this current climate that we see ourselves in. I can't be 100% on board here. And I'm going to take the road that, that is not positively looked on right now. So that's where we are.
Still shocked.
That's okay.
Philip Blair, how you doing?
Yeah.
Blown away, shocked. I don't know how I will recover from this.
Oh my God.
No, I don't know. I really don't know.
Anyway, my friend, I'm going to have to get up super early in the morning to go to work. So,
Oh, yes. Doing the work thing, eh?
Working late, going in on Saturdays, all of that.
I know.
It's good. I mean, the money's great, but holy crap, am I putting it in?
Oh, yeah. I get you, brother. I totally get you right now. You go and have a great night, and thank you for being awesome, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it, man. And
Oh,
thank you all for giving me hell because I do deserve it every once in a while. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there he goes. There he
All right.
goes. All right, brother. You take care. Be safe out there. Let me just steal that. Lee's not really a flat earther. He's just skeptical. There. What am I doing? That's what I need to do. What am I doing? downloading? Yes. Yes, it is. Move that over here. Trying to find something for us here. 1 second. 1 second. No, that's boring. That's boring. That's boring. 1 sec. One sec. Nothing. I'm looking at all the African channels right now to see if there's anything good going on. Right now, there's not. Nothing. Supposed to be a zebra migration going on right now, and there's like not a single zebra around. Or as the Brits say, zebra. 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 Oh, I hate all these good thumbnails that I get messed up by. What do we got going on here? Hold on. What do we got going on here? What's that? What is it? Checking to see if we have a hippo or not. How good was Amber tonight? She was amazing. No, that's not a hippo. Not a hippo. Back to the drawing board. Well, they had some rain there in Namibia. The grass is getting green there. That's a rarity. That's a thunderstorm, though. Animals aren't going to come out. They're just not. It's not the way it works. Oh, that's not live. Maybe we'll get something here. Hold on. That is beautiful country right there. You know, there's hippos in that water. Like, you don't want to go for a swim there. You don't need to see the sky. Come on, man. What do you take us for here? Okay, this one's boring. I thought that one would be a little bit more interesting here. Let's see if anything's there. Ooh, is this one live? Hold on. That one live? No, that's not live. Safari Sunrise? That's just highlights. That's where we were. Go check Rosie's pan here. Sometimes you see stuff move. Like that you could see them coming. One time there was like 8, 9 elephants on here. Probably the coolest thing I ever saw on here. I think we were live that night too. When we were watching it on here. But there was like a boa constrictor or a python, one of them big snakes. And it was laying on a tree branch. And watched it catch this bird. Like just strike out and lunge and catch this bird. That was pretty cool. I don't like this camera angle though. It literally cuts off half the pan. So there could be animals to the right there. And we don't get to see it. Shit. That's not what I want. Where'd my file go? Done. Put this in here. Put that in here. There we go. And stop sharing. Thank you tonight to Kitty County Whack ×2, Nikki ×2, Amy, and Shogun for the super chats. I'm going to pack this thing up. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of tonight's show. Leave a comment after the show. I want to know what you think. What do you think about fairies and gnomes and past life regressions and readings and all of that? So I was looking straight ahead at my computer, and when I turn like this, I'm looking at my other screen. That's what I'm doing, Amy. Hello. Amy, hello. Don't know where Amy hello is from. Where are you from, Amy? Hello. Thank you, Amariel. Look at that. Good show, Dave. Thank you, Amariel. Or is it Amarie? It looks like an L right beside the 144. Amy Allo is from Houston, Texas. You all have a great weekend. You have a great night. I hope you well. Wish you well. And we'll see you soon, everybody. Much love to all of you. Be good out there. Have a great weekend.
Healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.